Coach Stephen Davis, Dudley Panthers, back to work, going out here today. And Coach, tell us what you're doing in this practice today. What kind of stuff are you guys doing so far early this week?
Right now, we are able to come out in our helmets the first 2 days. Today was the first day we can come out in shoulder pads. Just to getting a lot of tech going, offensive tech, defensive tech, a lot of special teams at this point, and just trying to get the guys back into the flow of things.
Will you do things the same exact way this year you've done in the past, or you change some things as far as your offense and defense goes this year?
No, we're going to be the same right now. All the coaches are back. We got a new group of players, especially on offense, but we're going to do the exact same thing we did last year.
How do you go about working to slipping a new quarterback? I don't say replace, but slipping a new quarterback for Jameer Slade. How do you go about putting that new guy in there?
Well, all we can do is give him plenty of reps. Jameer was one of a kind. He was there for 4 years, did a great job for us. Whoever get the job this time, just got to give him a lot of reps and give him some confidence. The good thing about that, we still got R.J. Baker.
Yeah, as a quarterback, it looked like Slade, he developed over the years. I mean, as a quarterback in Dudley, you got to learn to develop, learn to listen to coaches, and realize your guy's plan is the best plan. And when they get you get them in that mold as a running and passing quarterback, a decision-making quarterback, that's when they play their best.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we've been fortunate enough to have some great ones. Again, you said Jameer, we had Hendon Hooker, who's probably up for the Heisman this year. We had Ricky Lewis, and then we had Emmanuel Mosley, who's playing for the San Francisco 49ers. So those guys bought into the system, and we had some great years out of all those guys. Well, matter of fact, I think we won the state with all those guys. So hopefully the next guy up can do the same and follow in those guys' footsteps.
You've never had the perfect state championship game, but you came pretty close to it last year. And then when Hooker was there, his championship year, you all say it's close to as perfect a championship game as you can get, probably.
You're exactly right. Our score was, I think, 54-0, and had a running clock, and everybody got a chance to play. And even last year, we scored, I think, a state championship record. I think we had 70 points, and that was a state championship record. So those two were good, but we'll take it 2-0 if we can win the state.
And Dudley, a team always known for its defense, so the offense is pretty potent too. Talk about Baker. Can you tell us what position he plays?
We're going to list him as an athlete because we're going to put him everywhere. We'll put him inside, receiver outside, and at running back, and might even run a little wildcat with him.
Tell you one thing, we talk about the loss of Slade, loss of some defensive players on the line, linebacker, but another guy you would be missing, I think, was a key cog in this team last year was Mekhi Wall. Just because nothing else, Mekhi was a very good receiver, but on kickoff return and punt returns, especially kickoff returns, he can get you started on offense at midfield or in the opposing team's side of the field almost nearly every time, and that's a plus to have. I know you're looking for that too this year, maybe from Baker and others.
Yeah, we are, and you're exactly right. That was a plus to have, and Mekhi had been doing it ever since a freshman. I moved him on varsity as a freshman, and he produced then, and he kept producing throughout his career, and now he's at Duke, and hopefully get a chance to produce up there as well. Talk
about some defensive leaders this year. I'm sure Logan Wright up front returning has got to be a key leader for you, kind of the kingpin of that defense.
Right, you're exactly right. That's where it's going to start up front with Logan Wright, and we got Jordan Miller. In the back seven, we got Coffee Bass. He'll be back. He was one of our leaders last year. And then in the secondary, we got Sean Seagraves. So, we got a level good person on all levels.
How about looking on offense again? Nasir Newkirk is one of the top athletes in Guilford County. You got Cordell Bartley. Hey, you've got some of these kids that saw some time last year, but they got to take that experience again last year and step up and give you even bigger minutes this year at wide receiver and other positions of that offense.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think Newkirk will do a good job. And Cordell Bartley, he'll be back as well. And those guys are just sophomores. They produced as freshmen, so we're definitely looking for big things out of those guys for the next 3 years.
What about the offensive line? Because you had guys like Jonathan Neal, a good leader up front, an all-star, East-West all-star player, and going on the wing it, I believe, for college football, and been a very good leader up front, I think, in the center position. How do you go about restructuring and building that offensive line going again?
Well, we got some older guys up there, but they haven't had a lot of experience. We'll start with Malcolm Kenya. He tore his ACL in the spring 2 years ago, and he'll be back full speed now. And then we got a guy who played for us his first couple of years, but didn't play his COVID year, Joshua Short. So he's a big fella who we should get a lot of work out of as well. And hopefully those guys can, gel together before we start with Paige and, give us some good blocking and open some holes up for RJ.
Back to the running back spot. I know RJ will carry a lot of the load back in the backfield. Are there some other key running backs you've put in there this year that you plan to get some big action out of too?
Yeah, we do. We got a transfer in, a guy named Jalen Hicks from Western Gifford. So, we're definitely looking for big things out of him. And then we got Asa Bond. He'll be back. He'll be a rising junior, I think. So we got some guys who can carry the load, but it'll all start with R.J. Baker.
And what about special teams? You've got a kicker who's maybe a couple of years now, a former soccer player, I think, who's got a good, strong foot. I know he probably works out on his own every day. How is his progress coming along?
He's doing a great job. Abdul is doing a great job, and look like his leg has gotten a little stronger. So, we're definitely looking to pin some guys deep back on the kickoff team, and hopefully, he can get in a groove punting the ball and pin them back as well.
I know he gave you some touchbacks last year on those kickoffs, and that's something you don't always see from a Dudley kicking team, but that's something he's working on and getting better at, I know.
He's getting better every day, and like I said, it seems like his legs are getting a little stronger. And he'll be a kid who will have a chance to go to college and play kicking in college. And I know he got a offer from St. Augustine up in Raleigh about a month ago, so hopefully get some more on the table.
I know you're going to be missing Stephen Davis, the second deuce this year, your son being with him out on the football field. That's going to be a lot different, I guess, this year, not having him around for 4 years like you did.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that was just me coaching him, but he has been around ever since he's about 2. So I guess for about the last 16 years, he's been out here on the field with us, but now he's moved on to bigger and better things over at A&T.
What's the schedule look like as far as scrimmages go? I guess you got some scrimmages probably coming next week.
Yes, sir. We'll go to Mount Tabor on Wednesday around 6 o'clock and scrimmage those guys. And then Friday, we'll go down to Charlotte and scrimmage Chambers High School. Wow,
going down to see Mr. Wiggins, Brandon Wiggins' group, huh?
Yes, sir.
That should be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. It'll show us where we at early.
I know you missed not having the 7-on-7 jamboree. Had to cancel that this year. Had a few games going in the morning. Had to cancel both 7. I'm sure that trip to Charlotte's probably big for your guys to be able to go down and go play against a team like Chambers.
Yeah, it should be good. Like I said, we got a lot of young guys, and that'll make us grow up real fast because those guys, they've been to the state championship game 4 years in a row, winning 2 of them. So they got a great program going down there, and hopefully we can go out there and match them.
You begin the season against Page. It's kind of ironic in some ways. So you ever think about playing Page, you go back to your roots. You went to coach over at Page years ago when you and Coach got together and went over there and got it going. Coach Floyd, Victor Floyd, you guys like a tag team back in the old days over at Page and came here to Dudley together. But I guess go back to Page and the memories of those as a young coach back in the day. I mean, you've come a long way since then, but I'm sure you never forget where your roots. I know you remember the A&T roots and those Page roots and the early Dudley assistant coaching roots too.
Oh, yeah. Me and Coach Floyd, we went back to we met in 1987 at Shawan Junior College. We were teammates and came to A&T, and we were teammates and started coaching over at Page and came over here and tried to turn this program around. I think we did a pretty good job, and to today we're still best friends, and I'm his kid's godfather, and he's my kid's godfather.
Did you think maybe back when you were a young coach with Coach Floyd and you came over here, did you think you'd ever be handed the reins and become a head coach as quick as you did? Because you got it pretty quick. He didn't stay a long time, took off for South Carolina, had some things to take care of down there, go to work coaching there, but you got those keys pretty quick to be the head coach. Did you think it happened that quick back in the early day?
Well, I wasn't looking for it to happen that quick. I was looking to be a head coach at some point. But Coach made his move, and I was fortunate enough to get the job here and try to make the best out of it.
This might be the only job you ever have as far as a head coach goes. Who knows? You may be here the rest of your time.
Yeah, it is the only one I had as a head coach. And I won't speak on the rest of my time, but it's the only one I had so far.
A lot of love, I'm sure, between you and this Panther Nation over the years.
Oh, yeah. I love my players to death, and it just tickles me to death when they come back and sit down and talk to me, especially those guys who are doing well.
And I guess it's like getting a brand new group of kids. You get these ninth graders every year, watching these kids develop and grow up. That's probably got to be a lot of fun, too, seeing their overall development, their maturity, and how to become grown-up young men.
Well, that's something we try to do. We just don't want them playing football for us. We want to teach them how to be a young man and be productive in society once they, graduate high school, graduate college, and go out in the real world. So that's what we focus on.
You got to mold them and make them, and you and your assistant coaching staff have done a great job of that, because when the kid comes to Dudley, he better be prepared to play at the Dudley way, because that's the only way it's going to be for you and the coaches, I'm sure.
That's exactly right, and with me having a good coaching staff like I do, it makes my job a little easier.
Coach, thanks for your time as always. Good luck this season. Look forward to seeing you throughout the year.
All right, appreciate it.